So I know I said I would come back with like my 50% reading update, but instead I just went ahead and finished the book and took a lot of notes, had a lot of questions as I was reading throughout. So I'm going to kind of say some of my questions and some of the things that came up for me. But one of the main things I will say is Biden was a hating ass bitch through and through the campaign. I'm not going to lie, because why would you call her right before the debate and give her some damning information that you knew would throw her off her game just because you wanted her to perform as poorly as your old decrepit ass did? Yeah, that's exactly what you want. You wanted the heat off of you. And it really is just bothering to me and so annoying to me because Kamala was loyal to this man to a fault. And I said this in my last video, but all it hammered in this is that it was true that she was loyal to a fault to this man and he was doing everything in his power to actively go against her, which is frustrating in itself. And then I'm tired of this narrative from Democrats that Republicans are willing to work across the aisle because it's just not true. It hasn't been true since Trump won the first time. And I think something else that was really frustrating as I was finishing up the book is how young people's interest in the genocide was something that was deemed only 4% of the population cared about. And it was like kind of downplayed as a non-factor in the campaigning as an issue that should even be at the forefront. Meanwhile, it gets brought up every 5 minutes in the book. So if it was such a non-factor, then why is it constantly having an appearance in the book? So obviously it was a bigger issue than what you were intending it to be because you thought that people were just going to not give a fuck. And I think that was what was frustrating as I was reading a lot that was irritating me. Then with Liz Cheney being on the trail, anybody that knows me knows I had said that was a dumb decision, optics-wise, humanitarian. Like, I see what the intent was behind it, but it just didn't make sense to me. And then I think there was one point where they were trying to separate Netanyahu from the Israeli people, even though he is representative as the government official and the person committing genocide with American tax dollars. So that was frustrating in itself. I did appreciate that IOTA, my fraternity, was brought up in the work that we've done to help the campaign. So that was nice. And then she talks about Netanyahu rejecting their calls at some point in the book, which was also like, okay, so Netanyahu can reject the calls, yet Biden can still send them money. Like, it was like, it's not adding up. And y'all are wondering why young people are frustrated. Like, it doesn't add up to y'all why they're frustrated. So I was just over it. And then they didn't acknowledge, well, Kamala didn't acknowledge why they didn't have a Palestinian speaker at the DNC, which was frustrating because it was like she just brought it up, but didn't acknowledge why that didn't happen. So that was annoying too. And then I think something else that really irritated me was when she started talking about Elon, and not from her side of things, but just the fact that why the fuck is Elon getting multi-billion-dollar military contracts from the government when people are hungry and homeless? So that was frustrating. So I think overall, this was a good insight into the campaign that was only 107 days. I do think that Kamala would have won if she had more than 107 days to run. But I also think that Democrats definitely, if they have any hope of winning in 2028, need to have a massive rebranding and remember who their voter base is, because I think there is a huge problem with the Democratic Party in trying to win over Republican voters instead of winning over the disenfranchised voters who are tired of being gaslit by the party into thinking that they don't understand something or there's too much nuance to understand and all these different things. So overall, I think it's a great read if you kind of just want to get into some more insider information. But I think you're going to get out of this what you go into it looking for. So if you're looking for an explanation, you might get what you're looking for. If you're looking to be upset, you'll get that. I truly think this is one of those books where you will get out of it what you go into it looking for. Like, if you want to go into it being upset with Kamala, you'll get that. If you want to go into it having empathy for the fact that she only had 107 days to run, you'll also get that. I think this book does a good job of highlighting, you know, the woes of running a campaign, but it also highlights where, like, you know, this is where the campaign fell short. But also, if you look at it from the lens of she only had 107 days, which is very not usual and typical, yeah. So I think with this book, you'll have any range of emotions that you're looking to have when reading it.